compassionate people. Welcome to Vegan News. Tons of stories this week. Let's dive right in. National Geographic has put out an article recently. Can cats and dogs be vegan, quote unquote? Science weighs in. Like all of today's stories and every story we always feature, link will be in the description whether this is on YouTube or Facebook, and I highly recommend you go over and check this story out. Basically, their argument is no, and they go with the old tried and true myth that synthetic taurine is not the same. They do go into speaking about koji, a new, relatively new ingredient, especially in the pet food industry. Hasn't ever really been used, but it does replicate the texture and flavor and a lot of the proteins of meat. That has really come to the surface recently in the last few weeks because of what's happened with Sonia Say and her fennec fox and people questioning synthetic taurine through that. And I'm pretty sure that's why they put this article out. This idea that synthetic taurine is different, is not bioavailable or digestible by cats or fennec foxes or any other creature that needs the taurine is ridiculous. All cat foods, whether plant-based or flesh-based, that you are currently giving your cats has synthetic taurine in it. They do this because in the process of heating up the flesh-based foods to sterilize them, it actually destroys much of the natural taurine that comes from the flesh. Cats are already getting their taurine from a synthetic source, along with other complete proteins that they need, and all can be plant-based. Houston, Texas.
The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Is getting a vegan festival that has been huge in Canada and has been traveling around North America. The Houston Vegandale Food Festival will be on Saturday, June 2nd, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And looking through past pictures of their food at the festival and some of the activism, looks like a great veg fest to hit up, which I'm really excited about. Veg Fest season coming into full swing here in about another month. How about you guys? And in Cornwall, England, a chef at the High Tide Seafood Restaurant has proposed a ban on vegans. Now this comes on the heels of a few other chefs in the area saying similar on social media because vegans had canceled on them despite them making a whole meal for them. Like doing everything, and then at the last minute supposedly it was canceled. And generally the response that has been given online has been, yeah, because non-vegans never cancel on you ever, right? I can understand why he's frustrated, but that's kind of just part of having a business. If you're worried about that in the future, take a deposit. Don't get angry, don't lash out at everybody else and generalize, especially since veganism's the future. You better get on board, man. The Cheltenham Festival in England had 2 fatalities this year. It's a horse race conducted every year in the area, and there's almost always a fatality, as it goes with most horse racing events. A horse named Mossback and a horse named Report to Base were humanely put down after one had a fractured leg and the other was, there were conflicting reports, but they were obviously injured bad enough to be put down. And all this for the spectacle and entertainment of a bunch of rich people so they can bet and gawk at these poor animals that have been conditioned their entire lives, and it's just disgusting and awful. And finally, our story of the week is one that I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about. United Airlines has apologized for killing a passenger's dog. Now, like the previous story, there's conflicting information and reports on this as well. I was hoping that would be clarified as time went on, but it's still kind of meh. 2 different things going on here. So let's present the 2 stories that are really circulating. Sometimes they're mixing in different reports and sometimes not. In one version of events, a passenger is asked to take her dog and stuff them in an overhead bin on this airplane. The dog barked, and at first the guardian of the dog refused to place the dog in the overhead bin, and the flight attendant continued to insist, pretty much said they were going to be thrown off the plane if they didn't. And eventually the guardian gave in. When they landed at their destination and opened the compartment door, the dog was dead. And the guardian was upset, obviously. In another version of the story, the guardian had the dog in a pet carrier, and the pet carrier was too large to fit under the seat, as is the regulation for carrying a pet on board in a carrier. They must be in a carrier and it must be able to fit under your seat, under United Airlines guidelines. Now, the flight attendant stepped in and had a similar argument to the other story, hi buddy, with the guardian of the dog, but in the end, she was supposed to have told them to just leave the plane because they weren't following regulations, but instead went along with placing the dog in the overhead compartment, which according to some accounts, the overhead compartments are sealed and cause suffocation. I don't know how true that is, Not able to confirm it because I don't know the exact model of the airplane, and nobody really does. Now, where things seem a little off about this story, with guardian of a pet that you consider part of your family, at what point would you stuff them in an overhead compartment by themselves? Especially according to most passenger reports that have shown up in stories, the dog was barking, whining, and screaming for the life. I'm sure they were suffocating in there, obviously. So why would nobody do anything about that? Why would you even do that to them to begin with? So a lot about the story doesn't really make sense. It's not United Airlines policy. In fact, it's against policy to put animals in those compartments. It's the flight attendant's fault. So all the backlash against United Airlines is a little unwarranted in my opinion. They apologized immediately. I'm pretty sure they've fired that flight attendant, and they'll probably go over this with all employees at some point in a statement. And it's really sad that so many in our population that are non-vegan can be so outraged by this, but don't care about the pigs and the chickens and the cows, sometimes traveling up to 3 days to get to a destination where they die with no food and no water, suffocating in the summer heat or freezing in the winter cold. I have one more piece of information to put onto this that I found out before I was about to finish the video. I wanted to throw it in quickly. The dog's name was Frankie, pictured here, and the Custano family are the ones that were their guardian. He was a French black bulldog. They appear to have been a puppy or not fully grown yet. And again, it's a very sad situation, and I don't know anybody who is a guardian of an animal that's part of their family that would stuff them in an overhead compartment like that. They're either dumb or they just don't care. So that's everything, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. There's big things in the works coming and happening. Sorry this video was a little bit late. A lot of noise going on. This house is going to be sold fairly soon, and hopefully some of the things in the works are going to be pretty neat, and I'm really happy about them. I can't wait to tell you guys. It's probably going to be another month, maybe 2, before I'm able to talk about all the different things that are coming up that are going to change the way things go. It's going to be for the better of everything. This channel, me, the activism I'm doing, and people that I'm going to have working with me in the future. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I love you so much. Love your faces. See you next time. Love you. Bye.